Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire. Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Om Agnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya. चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादि पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Canto 4, Chapter 7, verse 13. Daksha uvacha भूयाननुग्रहो भवता कृतो मे दण्डस्त्वया मयि भृतो यदपि प्रलब्धः न ब्रह्मबन्धुषु च वां भगवन् अवज्ञा तुभ्यं हरेश्च कुत एव धृतव्रतेषु. King Daksha said, My dear Lord Shiva, I committed a great offense against you, but you are so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you have done me a great favor by punishing me. You and Lord Vishnu never neglect even useless, unqualified brahmanas. Why then should you neglect me who am engaged in performing sacrifices? So yesterday, Prati Mataji asked me a question saying that how come Daksha, before, previously he insulted Shiva, and now as soon as he got the goat head, how come he suddenly became like devoted, showing so much of reverence. So actually, in these verses, Daksha actually expresses his gratitude. So here he's saying that he realized that he had done a mistake. I committed a great offense. So this is a realization of the jiva. So this is also very important. See, actually, Daksha was not an ordinary jiva, right? So he had spiritual knowledge, but most of the times, spiritual knowledge is covered by material contamination because of la puja pratishtha, etc., etc. So it's not that Daksha was not aware, just that he was temporary, he was like circumstantially, he was affected by material contamination. When that adverse incident happened of him actually dying, now he knows that because everybody is intelligent, so he's looking, he's figured that he's got a goat head, which means he knows that he was actually dead and he was brought back to life. And who brought him back to life? Shiva. So he's saying that you, instead of withdrawing your mercy, you've done me a great favor by punishing me. So he understands that he was punished. And he understands also that he had committed a great offense. But he's saying that you're so kind that instead of withdrawing your mercy, you're actually shown mercy by punishing me. Again, this is the same thing, right? Devotees going through struggle, difficulties in life, and we ask the same question to Krishna. Krishna, why are you not being merciful? Krishna is actually being merciful by giving us that punishment so that we can actually become qualified to serve Krishna. When do we become qualified to serve Krishna? What is the qualification to serve Krishna?
When we surrender completely, Prabhu.
Okay.
Sincerity and seriousness.
Sincerity and
Serious.
seriousness. Okay.
By doing bhakti, Prabhu.
Sorry, am I not? Somebody said something.
Bhakti. By doing bhakti.
Hare Krishna, I'm not able to hear. Others able to hear?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. By doing bhakti. Bhakti seva,
1
Prabhuji.
second. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm not able to hear Ashwini Mataji.
Hello. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm able to
By
hear.
doing bhakti seva, Prabhuji.
By doing Bhakti Seva, yeah, by doing Bhakti Seva, but how we have to do Bhakti Seva? That's the question. So, when we are free from material contamination, that's when we can serve Krishna. Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Sochati na Kankshati Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. So, Krishna will give us pure devotion. When we become Brahma Bhuta, which means that free from this material contamination. So, whatever Krishna is doing is of mercy towards us so that we can become free from this material contamination. So, we have to understand this. So, we should not be too worked up when we are faced with difficulties. It is simply Krishna's mercy. Daksha is speaking through his realization. So, he's saying, you and Lord Vishnu never neglect, never neglect even useless, unqualified brahmanas. And Daksha is saying, I'm qualified because I'm trying to do some I'm trying to do some service, right? I'm trying to do some sacrifice, etc. Although Daksha felt defeated, he knew that his punishment was simply the great mercy of Lord Shiva. He remembered that Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu are never neglectful of the Brahmanas. He remembered, which means that he knew. He knew this fact. Now he is remembering it. Even though the Brahmanas are sometimes unqualified. According to Vedic civilization, a descendant of a Brahmana family should never be heavily punished. This was exemplified in Arjuna's treatment of Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama was the son of a great Brahmana, Dronacharya, and in spite of his having committed the great offense of killing all the sleeping sons of the Pandavas, for which he was condemned even by Lord Krishna, Arjuna excused him by not killing him because he happened to be the son of a Brahmana. The word Brahma Bandhushu used here is significant. Brahma Bandhu means a person who is born of a Brahmana father but whose activities are not up to the standard of the Brahmanas. Such a person is not a Brahmana but a Brahma Bandhu. Daksha proved himself to be a Brahma Bandhu. He was born of a great Brahmana father, Lord Brahma, but his treatment of Lord Shiva was not exactly Brahminical. Therefore, he admitted that he was not a perfect Brahmana. Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva, however, are affectionate even to an imperfect Brahmana. Lord Shiva punished Daksha not as one does his enemy, rather, he punished Daksha just to bring him to his senses, and this is what even Krishna does. So that he would know that he had done wrong. Daksha could understand this and he acknowledged the great mercy of Lord Krishna and Lord Shiva towards the fallen Brahmanas, including even himself. Although he was fallen, his vow was to execute the sacrifice as is the duty of Brahmanas, and thus he began his prayers to Lord Shiva. Again, so we have to see that it is mercy. When we are being punished, it is simply mercy and nothing else. And obviously the question arises, do we want the mercy or not? If we don't want the punishment, that means we don't want the mercy. Isn't it? So if you want the punishment, if you want the mercy, we should be ready to take the punishment. And actually that punishment is not really so bad. Krishna is like a loving father, friend, etc. So he will not make it very difficult for us. He will, even though we are supposed to, maybe by, our karma phala, we are supposed to suffer more, but he is very, very merciful. He'll just reduce it. He'll reduce it. So that we can deal with it. At the same time, we can learn. Right here said, right? So that we can learn, so that we know that we've done wrong. Yeah, we've done wrong. So we are suffering. So we should know that. And then, like Parikshit Maharaj did, Parikshit Maharaj prays actually very beautiful. He says, I know I done wrong to this Brahmana, so let me get punished nicely. Saying, let me get punished nicely, so that I will not retain this mentality again. I will not retain this, offensive mentality towards Brahmanas. That's what Parikshit Maharaj thinks. So we should also think that, we are suffering. We've done something nasty in our previous life, and let us suffer so that, and also pray that whatever was the cause for this suffering, let that bad quality that resulted in that behavior not, let me become free from that. Whatever bad quality which resulted in some action that I did in the past, which was sinful, because of which I am suffering now. So we should pray, saying that let that anartha in me get destroyed through this suffering. Instead of that, we actually pray, let this suffering let the suffering come to an end. Actually, we should say, let that bad habit, bad quality, let that anartha come to an end. Then actually we have successfully suffered. We successfully gone through the punishment. So this is very, very important. These things are, many devotees don't understand the intricacies of Krishna Bhakti. And they have a very simplistic but um, sentimental approach to Bhakti, which is, if I do Bhakti, I should be happy. And in their calculation, happy means materially happy. Krishna Bhakti has nothing to do with material life. Unfortunately, devotees take like years and years to come to this understanding. Like Krishna Bhakti is about spiritual, is happening on the spiritual platform. And we seem to be again continuing our business mentality with Krishna. Saying, Krishna, I'm doing you bhakti. Please make my material situation all right. And we are putting Krishna into a fix because he's the one who's given dharma. And as per the rules of dharma, we've done something wrong. And now we are telling him, saying that Krishna, please forgive me. What a odd situation we are creating because he is dharma. He is the upholder of dharma. So we should not do that. So we should suffer. That's why that verse Brahma says, the 10th canto, Tattenu Kampa Susumikshamano. Patiently we should just suffer the results of our karma and at the same time become purified. Actually, this is again new realization today that we should pray that the anartha which caused that sin, because of which I am suffering now, let that anartha be destroyed. Let me get rid of that, unnecessary quality in me. That should be our prayer. विद्यातपोव्रतधरान् मुखतः स्म विप्रान् ब्रह्मात्मतत्त्वम् अवितुं प्रथमं त्वम् अस्राक् तद्ब्राह्मणान् परमः सर्वविपत्सुपासि पालः पशून् इव विभो प्रगृहीतदण्डः. My dear great and powerful Lord Shiva, you were created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. Of course, different Brahma, Shiva might be appearing from Brahma in different ways. Looks like this is one way where he was created first from the mouth of Lord Brahma in order to protect the Brahmanas in pursuing education, austerities, vows, and self-realization. So we should understand Shiva protects Brahmanas, basically Vaishnavas. He protects. As protector of the Brahmanas, you always protect the regulative principles they follow, just as a cowherd boy keeps a stick in his hand to give protection to the cows. The specific function of a human being in society, irrespective of his social status, is to practice control of the mind and senses by observing the regulative principles enjoined in the Vedic Shastras. Control of mind and senses. Lord Shiva is called Pashupati because he protects the living entities in their developed consciousness. so that they may follow the Vedic system of Varna and Ashrama. Mm. This protects the living entities in their developed consciousness. Actually, even in underdeveloped or undeveloped consciousness, also he protects. He brings them to developed consciousness. That is his mercy. The word Pashu refers to the animal as well as to the human entity. It is stated here that Lord Shiva is always interested in protecting the animals and the animalistic living entities who are not very advanced in the spiritual sense. It's also stated the Brahmanas are produced from the mouth of the Supreme Lord. We should always remember that Lord Shiva is being addressed as the representative of the Supreme Lord Vishnu. In the Vedic literature, it is described that the Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the universal form Vishnu, Kshatriyas from arms, Vaishyas from abdomen or waist, and Shudras from his legs. In the formation of the body, the head is the principal factor. Brahmanas are born from the mouth of the Supreme Lord in order to accept charity for worship of Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge. And who's supposed to give charity? Grastas are supposed to give charity. So we have to give charity for worship of Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge, which is what we have to do. We have to support ISKCON and ISKCON's activities, because that is what ISKCON is doing, is to worship Vishnu and to spread Vedic knowledge. Lord Shiva is known as Pashupati, the protector of the Brahmanas and other living entities. He protects them from the attacks of non-Brahmanas or uncultured persons who are against the self-realization process. Again, he protects in different ways as is appropriate. Maybe he might protect physically when required. He might protect mentally when required. He might protect just at the level of Atma, which means that body and mind might be suffering. But everything is again is for progress in self-realization, not for material stuff. Another feature of this world is that persons who are simply attached to the ritualistic portion of the Vedas and do not understand the situation of Supreme Lord are not any more advanced than animals. In the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is confirmed that even though one performs the rituals of the Vedas, if he does not develop a sense of Krishna consciousness, then all his labor in performing Vedic rituals is considered to be simply a waste of time. Lord Shiva's aim in destroying the Daksha Yagna Krishna was to punish Daksha by neglecting him, because by neglecting him, Daksha was committing a great offense. Lord Shiva's punishment was just like that of a coward boy who keeps a stick to frighten his animals. It is commonly said that to give protection to animals, a stick is needed because animals cannot reason and argue. The reasoning and argument is argumentum ad baculum. Unless there is a rod, they do not obey. This is the same actually situation with us also, because we are animalistic living entities, right? Animalistic living entities. Prabhupada said here, animalistic living entities. So we can't understand by reasoning and argument. So we have to have a rod, and that is a punishment. Force is required for the animalistic class of men, whereas those who are advanced are convinced by reasons, arguments, and scriptural authority. Again, every time I come across the scriptural authority, I want to remind everybody that all of us have to be under one spiritual authority, at least one spiritual authority. Prabhupada wanted us to follow the following. Surrender to the instructions of Diksha Guru. Surrender to the instructions of Shiksha Guru. Surrender to the instructions of local authority, which could be a temple president, etc. We see that many devotees in practicing Krishna consciousness are not prepared to surrender to the authority. It could be Guru, Diksha Guru, it could even be Shiksha Guru, or it could be local authorities. Now, force will be required if people don't follow this. Force means that force is not put forward by the authority. It will be put forward by Krishna. Because Krishna has nominated these authorities for a reason. And of course, the authorities also have to be authorized and authentic. So if the authorities are following Guru Sadhu Shastra, then those under them should also follow the instructions. If they don't, they will get punished. Why? Because those who don't follow authority, they will be offensive, they will not deal with Vaishnavas respectfully, etc., etc. And Krishna will be not happy by such behavior. So this whole concept of scriptural authority is very, very important. And Shastra says that as much respect we show to Diksha Guru, we should show to Siksha Guru and also to our authorities. We should show that respect because they are actually helping and guiding us on the path. Sometimes I've seen some devotees, any devotees, yeah, they don't, do Shravanam, so they don't even know what their authority is saying. So they will blindly just reject everything. And sometimes some devotees say, no, my guru is saying this, so I'm not going to follow local authority. That's also wrong. Some others say, I follow local authority. I don't know what my guru is saying. That is also wrong. Right? So we have to understand this whole spiritual process is about understanding and accepting authority. If we want to be independent, we can't do bhakti. If you want to be independent of authority, we can't do bhakti. If you think I'm going to do bhakti the way I want, if you think that bhakti, activities of bhakti are just like other mundane activities, if we see Vaishnavas just like other mundane people, then we are in a very, 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 very beginning stage of bhakti. Prakrita Bhakta, neophyte devotees. And as we make progress in spiritual life, the first thing we actually learn is to surrender to authority, because over a period of time we would have realized that without that I cannot make progress. And we've seen those who actually surrender to spiritual authority, they actually make progress. And those who don't, right, or those who speculate about about the instructions of the higher authorities, they don't make progress. It's very simple. Persons who are simply attached to Vedic rituals without further advancement of devotional service or Krishna consciousness are almost like animals. So see this. Further advancement of devotional service. So all of us should be worried about this. Of course, here Prabhupada is speaking specifically with respect to those who are attached to Vedic rituals. But even those devotees who are simply attached to the vidhi, the processes, but are not making further advancement. Upadeshamrita, Niyamagraha, Rupa Goswami says, just following rules, but not making any progress, or simply giving up rules. Both of them are wrong. Some devotees just simply flout the rules. I mean, they don't want to follow any rules. They say, no, we can do whatever we want. That's also not accepted by Rupa Goswami. Or somebody simply follows rules, but they are not putting their heart into following the rules, and they're simply following for the sake of following and no advancement in devotion. That's also wrong. They're almost like animals. And Lord Shiva is in charge of giving them protection and sometimes punishing them as he punished Daksha. So important, we have to make advancement of devotional service. We have to accept scriptural authority. We should be convinced by reasons, arguments. Actually, this is also another thing. See, these reasons, arguments are not personal opinions. These reasons, arguments are based on Guru Sadhu Shastra. So when somebody is giving some reasoning based on Shastra, we cannot just say, I don't care. I don't want to accept this. Who are us not to accept? We are here to accept authority. We are here to accept instructions. The reason we are struggling in this material world is just because all these years we have not accepted authority. We have not accepted Shastra. That's why we are still here rotting in this miserable material world. And now, fortunately, we've come under the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, but we want to still not accept Prabhupada's reasoning, Shastra's reasoning, authorities. We don't want to accept. And Prabhupada in this is clearly saying this is animalistic class. Animalistic class. Those who retain independence are animalistic. Those who give up independence are on the path of being cultured, becoming cultured. That's why Prabhupada many places says that Varnashrama Dharma is the beginning of cultured life, cultured human life. Because in Varnashrama Dharma there are rules, there are authorities. Things have to be accepted as per Shastra, as per adhikaris, as per authorities. Even if it is not bhakti, even general uh, adherence to Varnashrama makes people understand and accept superior power, authority, Shastra, everything. It builds us, it prepares us to actually accept bhakti in the process of bhakti. So he says if somebody doesn't follow Varnashrama, it is just uncultured society, animalistic. Same thing with respect to even devotion also. Those who are in bhakti but want to remain independent, animalistic. Then force will be required. And then when that force comes, then we are all like shaken up. We're like, oh, what is this? But I see actually even unfortunate, when devotees who actually go through these kind of situations, either bad relations with other devotees, bickering, fighting, gossiping. The problem with such devotees is they never hear, they never read Prabhupada's books properly. So by themselves, they will never be able to overcome. And they think they have been, penalized, that they are the recipient of bad treatment by others. But actually, because they are seeing from a mundane point of view, and it's so difficult to explain to them, give them reasoning, argument, because they are on the platform of false ego and ignorance. Worst, right? If somebody is in the platform of false ego, but he's at least willing to hear some respite. But generally, devotees who get stuck in these kind of situations, they are stuck in false ego and they're also ignorant and they're stubborn. They don't want to follow anybody. They think they know everything, and such a complex problem. Such a complex problem. Very dangerous to be like that in the association of devotees, because we'll end up offending actual Vaishnavas and then we have no hope of making progress. So we have to be very, very careful. Bhakti is like a double-edged sword. We have to be very careful. And those who are not able to understand get punished. But this punishment is like the cowherd boy's punishment for the protection of the cows. So Krishna, Shiva, they all punish so that they can actually correct us. So many important things to understand. Okay, I think I'll stop here. Any questions, comments? All okay? No questions, no comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you said that like because of the anarthas, we are suffering. But what if sometimes the suffering goes beyond our capability to bear it? Can we ask Krishna to give me strength to, accept it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ah.
Yeah, that is the right prayer actually. We should actually pray to Krishna, not saying that take away this. Right? We should pray saying that I deserve this, please give me the strength. Right? And we should also pray that along with that, that whatever nonsense anartha in me, which resulted in me doing some sinful activity sometime in my past, Please remove that anartha also. Both we should pray. Yes, asking for strength, absolutely. We can ask.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, and Bhagavatam also says that, yeah, sometimes if the punishment is so severe that, it becomes life and death, we can even pray to Krishna saying that keep me alive so that I can, correct myself and do and serve you. So we can even pray for that. Self-maintenance, self-preservation also we can pray, and it's still part of pure devotion. So Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu teaches that there are certain things that can be, that we can pray in certain cases, which might look like material desire, but no, so it's connected to the body, but it's directly connected with the service of Krishna. So they are also considered pure devotion. Hmm. Hmm. What is that? Forget that word. Anyabhilashita. Anya Abhilasha. Anya Abhilasha means some other Abhilasha or desire. Anya Abhilashita means it's the Anya Abhilasha to somewhat for enjoyment or something which is not connected to pure devotion. Anya Abhilashita. So in that Anya Abhilashita, because that suffix ta is added, our acharyas explain that these kind of prayers are still can be considered still part of pure devotion. Yeah, we can pray such things.
Okay, Prabhu.
Anything else? Yeah, so we have to simply remember by simply praying to Krishna to stop my suffering is very neophyte, is very beginner stage. We can do that also if we are in that stage only. We can pray to Krishna with that prayer also. See, we should never imitate higher spiritual standards, right? Whatever is our natural propensity, natural level where we are in, we can do that. But we should know that it's a lower platform and I have to raise above that. I have to come to the platform, not asking Krishna to stop my suffering. So these are just higher platforms. So we have to make progress. But if we think that no, I just feel like praying, I feel helpless, I don't have anybody else, please pray. It's better than going away from Krishna. So we should pray because Krishna is there, based irrespective of what our material or spiritual position is. Krishna is there with us to help us, handhold us, slowly, gradually take us to step by step higher levels. He's there with us. He is not impatient. He's been waiting for so many lifetimes for us. So yeah, he'll wait one more lifetime. No, but of course we should not think that yeah, anyway Krishna is there. Krishna is waiting. Let me delay him further. Let me continue to remain on the lower platform. No, but sometimes our conditioning is so strong that it's very difficult, very very difficult. Even if we are hearing instructions, it just doesn't seem to be making sense, or we can't accept, or we can't follow. It's just so difficult. We see so many devotees, they come, but they just are not able to accept anything and make any meaningful progress. It just pains. It's so difficult to see such devotees. They don't want to hear, they don't want to read Prabhupada's book, and they're just stuck. Very bad conditioning, very bad past karmas. But somehow they've come into bhakti, so we should be with them, help them, support them. But yeah, very, very difficult. Anyway, we are very only few steps away from achieving perfection. That's what His Holiness Shivaram Swami Maharaj says in his book Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. He says those who have come to Hare Krishna, they are just a few steps away from Goloka. So yeah, little bit more patience and just understanding that whatever is happening in my life is just, oh, I'm climbed half a step more. I climbed one step more. I'm just few steps away from Goloka. That should be our That's the reality. I mean, and that's what we should remember, because when we are really suffering, these things, none of these instructions we can remember actually. The only thing that comes to my mind is, oh, I'm suffering so much. Why me? Why do I have to go through all this? There's so many other devotees who are so comfortable and doing bhakti nicely. Why can't I? My situation also be like that, etc., etc., etc. We should just remember saying that that's just our contaminated state. But see that, understand that Krishna is there to help us only. He's not just creating some situations for us to suffer and go down. No. These situations is for us to come up, go up towards him. Okay, anything else? Okay, then we'll stop here. Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyashta kripa sindhubhya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah ananta koti vaishnavanda ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam to everyone.